Hey, good weekend. Welcome to Leading Edge. I'm Jerry Anderson. There's no place like home for the holidays, it's said and sung. But what if you had no place to call home? Efforts to really make a dent in Toledo's homeless problem have admittedly not been very effective. The local homelessness board is hitting restart, and its brand new director joins me at my table coming up. But first, and it's been a while, we welcome back the 17th president of the University of Toledo, who in the year upcoming, get this, will be celebrating her 5th year at the helm of the university, Dr. Sharon Gaber. To me, that's flown by. What about to you?
Absolutely. It's been a very quick 5 years.
Are you about where you want to be 4 years in?
We certainly are. We continue to make great strides, great progress in graduation rates, retention, fundraising, research dollars. So we're thrilled about the progress.
We're going to explore all of that. Let's start though with the heavy stuff, the really important stuff. Did the Rockets get hosed by not getting an invitation to a college football bowl game?
We are clearly shooting to go to a bowl game every year, and we have great expectations for our team. We're disappointed, and we will continue rebuilding. And next year, we're looking forward to being in a bowl game.
The point is, you got to have 6 wins to even be bowl eligible, and several MAC schools are going to bowls with 6 wins, some of whom were defeated by the University of Toledo Rockets. I'm just pointing that out.
Correct.
Okay. Well, you did that really well. You ever think about politics over there? All right, fall enrollment at the university down. Not heavy, but down a bit from last year. Why? And does that bother you?
It does bother me. I think every university in the state of Ohio continues to work. We want to meet the state's goal of having graduates who are ready to get jobs, helping our local economy. So we continue to work on it. We had a change in our enrollment management office. We are out hitting the pavement out in high schools and working on online education. So we will continue to work on our growth. We do have strong graduate and professional growth, and we're excited that retention and graduation rates continue.
I'm going to get you there because that really is anymore. That is what people are looking at. But I want to go back to your incoming class. The people that are getting in the front door over there are coming in with an impressive grade point average. Would you tell me 3.47 is
Correct.
the average for
Yes.
the incoming freshmen? Does that mean, though, President, that some kids who used to get into UT or Toledo, and more on that is that's coming up, okay? Does it mean that more of those kids are not getting in?
We are still considered an open access institution, and what I tell you is students who apply and are high school graduates and ready to get in, we accept them. Now, what I'd say is if somebody is questioning whether they should be in college and they feel like they're not strong or academically prepared, I'd say go to a community college and make sure you're ready because it's better for them. I don't want to take their money and not have them leave with a degree.
Open access. You can't turn it down?
I think there's a little bit of waiver in there. There are certain programs that have requirements, but for the most part, we take most students. So I think we have a very high.
Well, if you do that and your average incoming is 3.47, you're taking a bunch of kids up here then too, if your average is going up.
Absolutely, and lots of students are realizing it is a great value, a great institution.
For some perspective here, the more important metric, and this started under the last gubernatorial administration, John Kasich, the emphasis is on graduating job-ready students, which then also goes to, and you've already mentioned it, the issue of retention. So give me the update. What is your graduation rate, and what trend does that rate represent?
So we're up over 51%. We're at 51.2%. We have increased by nearly 10% in the time since I've been here.
51% of kids who enter at the university graduate from the school within
6 years.
You're given a 6-year time span.
6-year.
It's at 51%.
Correct.
But that is up 10%.
Nearly 10%.
Nearly, okay.
We were at 42 points.
Okay, well that's okay. Well, a big part of that, to start them here and graduate them within 6 years, you got to keep them.
Correct.
And that goes to the retention. How are you doing on that? And I know that I think we talked about this before, that big bridge that you have to get over is that freshman to sophomore year.
Right, and absolutely, and everyone looks at that. So we're now at 77%.
A freshman will come back.
Correct. And we're working to move that forward. So
is that number up?
Yes, every year for the past 7 years it's been up. So we are working on that and each year getting better. I mean, really, we've been here and we've said student success is our #1 priority. We're doing everything we can to make sure we bring students in, we retain them, and we graduate them. And collectively, everybody has said, that's our focus, that's where we're going, and we want to make sure that students who come in do succeed.
So I perused your site.
Okay.
I perused Toledo. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and tell me all about that. And it seems like in all of your communications, it's not UT. Don't say University of Toledo. Don't say UT. It's all Toledo. It's the Toledo, all one word. All right, letter U, Toledo. Is that what? A branding, marketing effort? What is that?
We did. We went through a branding effort. We decided to clarify the Toledo. In part, UT is out there. It could be Tennessee, it could be Texas, it could be a number of other institutions. We wanted to be really clear about that. So we also have the tagline, Fueling Tomorrows.
I saw it.
Yeah, so part of it is talking about the promise that there is an action and we're gearing students toward their futures.
All right, so folks, if you haven't heard it before, you heard it here first, use it, all right? Toledo. I go back far enough. Growing up in Toledo, have you ever seen anybody in town? They call it TU.
Oh, yes.
You've met some?
Oh, yes.
There's some good old school folks, because it used to be before it was in the state system. All right, so then, and get back to my question. I was perusing Toledo this week as though I were a student looking for a school to attend, or maybe the parent of such a student. You know what I was struck by? The emphasis placed on internships and co-ops. Not only impressed for the real world hands-on experience, but also by seeing how often those internships lead to jobs, which is what I want my kid to get if he's coming out of there. Tell me about that.
Absolutely.
It's not mandatory though, or is it?
In engineering, it is mandatory.
Okay.
Students do 3 co-ops while they are there. There are 8 schools across the country that have mandatory co-ops, and I'd tell you 2 of those are in Ohio, and we're the one in the north. Cincinnati has that also, and we're excited to be a part of that, and our students do leave with jobs.
I read something in your business school, I think 85% of the kids were doing co-ops, were doing internships, and then of that number, 50% of them obviously made a pretty good impression because they landed gigs at their internship.
Right. And it's part of what we're emphasizing for all of our students. Internships are critically important. We want them to have some field experience. So we have history students even who might be working in a historic preservation entity or doing something in revitalization. We have...
Do you have to go out and find these for them?
Well, our Career Services Center also helps with that. So we have that, and then the colleges, I mean, engineering and business, they have a long history of doing this.
Let's talk briefly, then we're going to take a break. Talk about student debt. I think we've touched on this when we were here before, so I want to get that update. I know tuition guarantees are designed to attack the mountain of debt that so many students graduate with, and you guys have that.
Correct.
So what is the current average level of debt for a Toledo student, and is that level acceptable to you?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, I understand the idea of debt, and in some ways I want to say no level is acceptable, and yet every institution there is some. We have our students actually, and schools look at debt and then they look at future earnings potential. We have the best ratio there because many of our students come out as engineer, healthcare professional. So students have a relatively low level of debt coming out, graduating college with just over $20,000 in debt. Now, that sounds like a lot to a lot of people.
No, is that average at UT?
Yeah.
Oh, by today's standards, 20 grand ain't bad.
Right, so that's what they're doing. It's just over $20,000, and then with a higher starting salary because of the type of professions that a lot of our students are leaving with.
And the guarantee is what you pay when you walk in the front door, you won't pay more.
It is fixed for 4 years, correct. Now, if you take 6 years, it goes up, but it's fixed for 4 years. Right.
Oh no, we had that agreement with my daughters.
Yes.
You're going to get a degree, and it's going to take you 4 years. And they came through with flying colors.
Good.
Dr. Sharon Gaber, President, University of Toledo. My guest, we're going to talk about some other stuff. I got to touch on the Oberlin thing, because every administrator in this country has to be aware of that. And it was right here in our state. This is Leading Edge. I'll be right back.